Do you stream on Twitch? Are you tired of DMCA? Do you want to separate out your music from your VODs and not have to worry about these Twitch strikes and losing your channel? You want to be able to play copyright music while live and not have to go back and delete your clips, delete your VODs? Then I think I've got the solution for you. Whether you're using a USB mic or you've got a Go XLR setup or any XLR setup, I've got a crash course for you on how to separate out your audio tracks, not have to worry about it anymore. Let's get into it. By the way, I also stream on Twitch every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern US. Come check me out. Got any questions about this video or anything else you want to ask me? Drop me a follow. See you there. So the way this basically works is you have to have your audio track going as its own audio source, basically acting like its own thing. For instance, your microphone, right? Your microphone acts as its own entity. It is a physically separated piece that transmits audio into your machine. Doesn't matter what microphone you're using, as long as it's not one built into your computer, it counts as a separate audio track. You can see it happening in OBS. When you're talking, the only sound that goes through in the mixer is the sound of your mic, and it doesn't show up in your desktop. But when you're doing things like Spotify, YouTube Music, Pandora, if you still use that, then those are going to show up as part of your desktop audio, which is why when you end up sending it to Twitch and it's saved in your VOD, it's always going to be there. So in order to separate it out, there are tricks that you can use, depending on what your setup looks like, to basically no longer have it saved. And we're going to break it down into one of three basic setups. Either A, you're playing on a PC and you've got a separate monitor. B, you're on something integrated like an all-in-one or a laptop. Or C, you've got a completely hardware separated setup like an XLR setup with an XLR mix amp, or my personal favorite, the all-in-one Go XLR. Now, no matter which one of these you're using, I've got a crash course for you to get all of those separated. We're going to start out with the most widely used, and then we're going to go out to some of the more niche. All right, let's go. So what you're going to need is this guy right here. There's a perfect audio plugin for OBS that will separate out things for you and make life easier without you having to spend any money. No matter which method you're using, aside from the very last one that we'll cover, this one will work for everybody. It is this awesome plugin for OBS called Audio Monitor. So all you got to do is basically just go to this website, click download, and then you can download either an installer or the zip. Now, if you've downloaded plugins, you know exactly how to do this and you've got your way of doing it. If you don't know how to download plugins, there's plenty of YouTube videos out there that will tell you how this works. Thus, installer's the easy way to do it. Me personally, I like to use the zip folder and just put them in myself because I'm paranoid. I don't trust all-in-one installers. That's just me. But if you've got plugins installed already, you know what to do. You've got your way of doing it. You just do that. So now we're going to go with one of the more mainstream options. You're streaming on a desktop. No matter what, this is going to work as long as you're using a monitor with either an HDMI or DisplayPort setup. All right, so once you've got that, you're gold. All you have to do from that point is just basically go into your sound settings, scroll down here, and go to Advanced Sound Options, all right? And then basically just go to whatever music you're using. For me, I use Spotify. And then when you go here, you're basically going to take that and you're going to set it to your monitor, because every monitor that uses an HDMI or a DisplayPort has an audio outline. Even if your monitor doesn't have speakers, it still has it, which means you can use it as a physical separation of your audio track. You may not be able to hear it, but that's where that handy plugin is going to come in handy. We'll get to that. So go into your audio preferences, set your music, say Spotify, for example, to your monitor. All right, done. Go into your plugin here, go to Docs, turn on your monitor. It's called Audio Monitor right here. All right, this is basically what it looks like. It's just a nice little mix amp that you can play with. But it's going to make things really easy for us to actually be able to hear the audio going into our monitor and then coming into our earphones or speakers, so we can actually hear the music ourselves, not just the stream. If you don't want to hear it, you don't have to do any of this, but it'll come in really handy. Now, once you've got that done, you have to add Spotify or whatever streaming audio software you're using as a source within your scenes. This is critical for everyone. Doesn't matter who you are, XLR, laptop, desktop, you gotta do it this way. So what you're gonna do is hit the plus sign, add audio output capture. And then once you're in these properties, pick the monitor. For me, I'm using this Dell monitor. You're gonna pick that as your audio output capture property. The reason that works is because if you remember in our audio devices, or in our audio device preferences, Spotify is basically outputting its music through that monitor, through that piece of hardware. So that output capture is capturing the music coming from the monitor. But if we try to play that, you can go ahead and try, you won't be able to hear anything in your earphones. The stream hears it perfectly. You can manipulate it perfectly down here through this one. I've called it audio capture. This is the make sure that you can adjust the volume for your stream, but nothing shows up in your ears. What you need to do is now add that audio monitor plugin that we installed earlier, so you can have it routed from your monitor or out of your monitor speakers. You want it going into your ears in your headphones instead. So this is where it comes in handy. You're gonna go to that line where your audio is coming out of now, your music, right click it, add the filters, and what you're gonna wanna do is hit the plus, and the audio monitor plugin is right there. You're gonna add it as a filter. And then once you're in there, you're gonna take that device, whatever device is acting as your headphones, you're gonna now reroute the audio out of the monitor for you. This is not for the stream, this is for you. You're gonna route it out of your monitor and into your headphones. And if that device for most of you is actually speakers, you put it set to speakers, and now you'll have a separate line that controls your volume of your music in your ears versus what the stream hears. So if the stream wants quieter music while you want to be jamming out to some loud tunes, you can now do that, which is a pretty awesome thing you can take advantage of regardless of whether you want to separate tracks out or not. You're going to see for the Spotify mixer, we've got two volume sliders now. The one on the left is your audiences. The one on the right is for you. So now when you play this, I can adjust what you guys hear while keeping the music in my ears nice and loud. Now, I know I don't have my earbuds in, I've got it routed to something else, but that's basically how that works. This will let you manipulate how loud the audience's music is and how loud yours is. Pretty awesome, isn't it? Now, there's a little bit more that's got to be done, but let me cover the more niche groups, the laptop users and the XLR users. You guys are next. So, if you're playing on a laptop and you don't actually have a hardware monitor that you can take advantage of that has that line out, because you're on a laptop, it's an integrated thing, or you're on an all-in-one that's doing the same thing, then you're going to need another piece of software to make this work. And for this one, it's going to be audio cables. What you want to do is take this and just download it, whether it's on Mac, Windows, doesn't make a difference. They give you this free line. It's basically doing exactly what the hardware is doing for your monitor, but in a software capacity. So just go ahead and download that. And then once you have, what you want to do is go into the actual zip file that you downloaded, extract it, and then right in here, you're going to go into the extracted file, and you've got two setup files in here. I know this is a lot. You don't need all of it. In fact, after you're done, you can go ahead and just delete this. What you want to do is you want to go to the x64. If you're on a 64-bit operating system, latest Windows 10, you're probably on 64-bit. Some of you might be on 32-bit, so you can use the top one. But for everyone else, go ahead and right-click this. Go ahead and run it as admin, and then boom, go ahead and close this out, and then I'll show you what you've got to do next. Now that you've got that installed, you have a physical line out, but there's something else you got to do. So what you need to now go do is go into your sound control panel, and you'll see right here, you've got the audio out cable. That is your now physical separate line that's going to be acting as a separate entity for your music. But we've got to make a slight tweak. Maybe not all of you do, some of you might. So you want to go into recording, right click this, the actual cable, go to properties, go to listen, make sure this is set to whatever your headphones are going to be, okay? Or whatever your default music is. For most of you, this is probably just going to be set to speakers, you're good. But in case you have any tweaks here and there, that's what you want to set it to. Set it to whatever it is you use to listen to your music. Set it to your ears so you can hear it. And then once you've done that, just go into the audio properties, the device preferences, and just like we did with the monitor before, go ahead and set that to your cable. Now we'll go back into OBS. What you're going to do is go back into the Spotify, test whatever it is that you have. For us, it's going to be this one. You're going to set that to the audio cable. All right? So very similar setup here. You guys can already see where this is going. So that's going to be done. Now you're going to go into the filters. You're going to set the same filter up, but you want to make sure that it's still set up to whatever you're listening to. In this case, it was still speakers. So now that that's done, you're all good to go. For some of you, you might have to make a small tweak. This happened to me before. It doesn't always happen. For whatever reason, when I had my slider for my ears set to 100%, the feedback was too high and it was coming through really harsh. It was like it was overblown. It does not come through clear. It did not come through clear. So I had to set it to about 50% before I could hear anything. And then when I play the music, it wasn't coming through clear before, but it was coming through clear now. Also, the slider, no matter what I do, doesn't seem to adjust the volume in my ears very well. For everyone else, it's fine, but the music comes through really loud in my ears. So for those of you on laptops, that's the one limitation you're gonna have. I don't know if the audio cables will ever fix that. It's something to take into consideration. But at least you now have that physical separation to be able to stream the music separate and not have to worry about losing audio on anything else. No music saved to your VODs, all the music live on Twitch. Let's go. All right, last but not least, probably my more niche group are going to be the people that are using XLR setups. For me, it's going to be the Go XLR. You don't have to do anything as far as downloading plugins, downloading extra software. Everything's already set up. You've already got physical separation of everything, right? That's what you have the hardware for. That's what's happening. So all you have to do now is to make sure that whatever you have as your broadcast stream mix doesn't include Spotify. And in this case, I'll show you what that looks like on the Go XLR. I've got my routing table. My broadcast stream mix no longer includes music. So how do I get the music on my stream? What I do is add it as a source in my scenes. I actually have to add the music physically to each scene, basically running through the exact same process minus audio monitor plugin. You don't need that. So just find whatever you use for your music, set it to that. Make sure that in your device preferences, you make sure it's set to whatever your music is set to that, so that you had physical control of it in the knobs and all that good stuff, blah, blah, blah. You already know this if you've got that set up. And then once you've got that in there, you hit OK, you're done, and that's it. That's all you've got to do. So now when you go and try to play the music, it shows up in your ears. You can use your slider on your XLR to make it as loud or as quiet as you want in your ears. But you can use the slider in OBS to make it louder and quieter for chat. Pretty nice. So now I've got all three of you covered. Now we go to the next step, and this is where we really do the separation. So for this, you need to go into your OBS settings, and you want to go to Output. From here, you want to make sure you've got this checked right here, Twitch VOD track. Check that, and make sure the line is set to 2. This is what I was talking about before when I meant Twitch was getting 2 different signals. It's getting 2 audio signals, one that's a standard audio track, and now the one that's a Twitch VOD track that will be sans music because of everything we've already done now. So make sure that's done, hit OK, and then what you want to do is in here, in your mixer in OBS, go to Advanced Audio Properties, and make sure for track 2, you don't have the music enabled. For me, this is the Spotify. If I didn't want music saved, I would make sure track 2 did not have music, but track 1 still has music. Everything's going to be in track 1. All your alerts, your microphone, your camera, everything that's got audio, you want to keep that in there. And then in track 2, it's got everything minus your music software. And boom, you're done. That's it. Now you don't have to worry about Twitch coming after you, the music labels coming after you. After you've gone offline, you can enjoy VODs without music, you can enjoy your clips without music, and you can enjoy those banger tunes while live, pleasing your audience, pleasing yourself, and making sure you're having a great time while live, stress-free. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, hit that little bell so you can get any future videos from me, and follow me on Twitch so you can ask me any other questions about this video or any other technical issues you might have, or just about anything else. We talk about almost anything. Go ahead and stop by. I'll see you on the stream. See you in the next video. Ciao.